This is a review of the new Alienware AW3420DW gaming monitor. When there's no video signal sent to the monitor, you press and hold the third button on the back, and the monitor goes into a test mode, and you can cycle through colors and check for dead or stuck pixels. And I lucked out, I have 0 stuck or dead pixels. Here, I'll try to show the backlight bleed. There's a little bit of glow in each corner. It's most noticeable right there. And it actually shows up worse in the camera. In real life, it doesn't look this bad. And during normal usage, you never see any of that backlight bleed. Out of the box, the monitor comes super bright and the colors are oversaturated. So after messing with it a few days, this is what I ended up. I lowered the brightness to 20%. In the presets modes, I set it to game 1. And then I changed all the colors down to 40%. And it made it a lot more realistic compared to the oversaturation. I really like all the screen real estate. Editing videos, you get so much more room for stuff compared to the small size of my laptop screen. During normal usage, the monitor uses about 27 watts of electricity. When it goes into standby mode, it uses 17 watts. I did have a problem with this power saving mode. I ended up having to turn it off because sometimes the monitor, when it would go into deep sleep, it wouldn't wake up. And I'd have to press a button on the back for it to reinitialize. But once I set it to off, that fixed the problem. The monitor will still go to sleep. It just doesn't go into that deep sleep state. The backlighting is kind of cool, but it's not very bright. The only thing I changed is I turned this power light off because it's kind of annoying. It's like right into your eyeballs. There's also a major design flaw that involves this power light. Even though you can turn it off in the settings, when the monitor goes to sleep, that thing is automatically on and it pulses. And there's no way to turn it off. And the light is like a laser beam. My bed is across the room, so at night if I wake up, I can kind of see this. And the thing that's most annoying is that it's always pulsing, so it kind of catches your attention. At first I tried to put a little sticker on there, and it kind of like diffuses the glow. But really the final solution was just to turn it off completely. The button feels like a smartphone power button. It's a tiny little clicky button. So at night, before I go to bed, I just power off the monitor. I also created my own custom bias light. And this slips onto the frame of the monitor stand. There's a good HDMI output, but it does work. I'm limited to 60 Hertz. My laptop is 4 years old and it's kind of slow. It's got a 960M graphics card, so when I play games, I do duplicate. And this is 1080p. You hit the Windows and P key, and a little window pops up and you can choose duplicate or second screen only. And 1080p looks pretty good even on this big monitor upscaled. So stay tuned. In a couple months I'll have my new desktop, so I'll be able to use this to its fullest potential. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll try to address them there, and also in the next video. I'll do another video on this monitor.
Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here, and I'm really genuinely excited for this video. It has been about 7 years since I have looked at a new PC monitor. I've had my old one for about 7 years now, and it's about that time to get a new one. So with that being said, it's time to take a look at the BenQ EX351R. It's a 35-inch curved monitor, and for me personally, my biggest priorities are workflow and productivity. And then, of course, video editing as well. Those are the top three. And then on the side, I've started to do more and more PC gaming now that I'm streaming on Twitch. So gaming is also a factor for me there now. So I want to go ahead, open it up, show you real quick what comes with the monitor, and walk you through the setup process, and even give you some examples of how you can use it for workflow, even video editing, and even some gaming as well. Oh, and also, as a very quick side note, BenQ is hooking it up with a discount code for you guys on Amazon. Very easy to remember. You take the model number, EX351R, and just add a 15 in front of it. 15% off the BenQ EX351R on Amazon. Link down below. So we've gone mobile for this part of the video just because this box is so large. So opening it up for the first time. Inside you have some software, quick start guide, basic installation guide. You have a few different cables right here. The first one being an HDMI cable, very basic as you can see. You have a DisplayPort cable right there, and then my favorite one, USB Type-C to USB Type-C, which is great to see, no pun intended. So that'll work great because obviously my MacBook only has USB Type-C ports, and even my desktop has a USB Type-C slot on the back, so I will be testing out this cable in just a little bit. You also have what appears to be a back plate for the monitor, and then here is the larger than expected power brick and the extension cable to actually plug into the wall. Now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at what you're all here to see. Set the styrofoam to the side, and here is that monitor. Gonna go ahead and slowly and carefully take off this packaging. All right, so we're back in the office. Figured I'd do a bit of a dramatic reveal for the monitor with the packaging on it. So here we go. Whoosh. Not as smooth or as dramatic as I would have liked, but that's okay because I'd rather them have protection on the display itself. It has some tape on it. I'm gonna have to peel all of this off. Okay, now for what should be a bit of a better reveal. We have the tape all off. Peel the top tape off, and there it is. The BenQ 35-inch curved monitor. Here's a look at the back, which you probably won't see much of. It says BenQ curved monitor. Oh, and it looks like we've got one more piece of plastic right there. Let's peel that off where it says BenQ. So with some difficulty, here's a quick look at the bottom. You have a USB Type-C slot, 2 USB Type-A slots, DisplayPort, 2 HDMI ports, and even a headphone jack as well. Okay, so skipping ahead, I plugged in the monitor. I have the USB Type-C cable plugged in, which I will only use with my MacBook or any other laptops. My desktop, I'm going to use the HDMI cable because that's what my graphics card supports. So first of all, let's turn on the monitor for the first time. Go ahead and press the button. There's a bunch of menu buttons right there, but here we go. iCare, HDMI, BenQ boots up. It's not going to have any image. It'll say input not found or something like that. No cable connected. So let's go ahead and grab our USB Type-C cable. Should be able to plug it into any of these USB Type-C slots on the MacBook. If I plug it on in, I might have to change the input of the monitor. It might not be set to default USB Type-C. All right, so it looks like we got to change the input. Let's just go ahead and press the input button, and then you can change it right here. Let's select USB Type-C. Very simple. And there we go. Check it out, that wide screen. It looks awesome. I don't know if this is an extended display. It is. So it is extending my MacBook display at the moment. We can go ahead and swap windows real quick. This is crazy. This looks really good right out of the box. You can make a bunch of different tweaks to it, but right now I want to go ahead and plug it into my desktop now that I just showed that the USB Type-C will work. And when you do use USB Type-C, it acts as a hub, so you can go ahead and start using those USB slots in the back of the monitor. All right, next up is the desktop. Get it all booted up. I just need to change the input to the HDMI 1 slot, which I've plugged in, and then it should detect, auto-detect, and there we have it. My desktop is all set up and good to go. Got some applications loaded up, and check out that wide screen. Let's get a close look. The bottom chin's where the biggest bezel is. However, the side and top bezels are very minimal, making for a very slick look. Let's just go ahead and pan over and just check out those bezels all the way to the right. And then down at the bottom here is where all of those buttons lay, where you can customize specific settings, change inputs, and power. And to give you a quick look at some of those menu settings, we can go ahead and go into them. You'll see display, picture, where you can change brightness, contrast, gamma, color temperature. You just have a ton of different options that you can really customize it to your liking. You see picture mode, color vibrance, low blue light, super resolution. Go ahead and play around with these. I know I'm going to, just to find your sweet spot. Some audio settings, and then of course your system settings. Very noteworthy setting this BenQ monitor has is the Brightness Intelligence Plus, the BI Plus, which BenQ has added, and it adjusts your brightness and color temperature according to not only the ambient light in your room, but also the display content on the monitor. Very similar to iPhone's Night Shift and True Tone technology, which should really help reduce eye strain, especially if you look at monitors for a long period of time, which I do, so that should help me. And of course, it will help enhance your HDR experience. Now, if we go into Windows and go to display settings themselves, you'll notice HDR and advanced color pop up, where you can go into those settings because this monitor